Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be the flick through for Airfix Model World issue 176. Now, when I went down to my local W.H. Smith, well, I say local, it's no longer local because the one that was literally 5 minutes around the corner from me closed. So then I had to sort of like travel 10 minutes into town by push bike to use the W.H. Smith in town, which had a post office in it, by the way, and then that one closed down literally within sort of like 12 months of the one where I live closing down. So now I have to go about 20 minutes by bike, by bicycle, to a main out of town shopping centre in order to get Airfix Model World, because none of the local news agents near me actually stock this, and despite asking a couple, they wouldn't get it in either. So yeah, bit of a nuisance. Anyway, this was the last one that was on the shelf. Unfortunately, it's a bit tatty, some pages ripped, but let's get into it, shall we? So we got some Wessex helicopters on the front here. Step-by-step guide to Airfix's all-new 172 scale Westland Wessex HC2. We also have improving Revels 144 scale HMCS Snowbury, and then new tool for Edward's superb 148 scale A6M2N float plane. So here we go. Editorial, contents. So we've got the Snowbury, we've got the float plane, we've got, that's it. So 30 advanced build. Airfix's reissued 135 scale Albion 3-point fueler. 70 intermediate build, Maritime Maelstrom. Polish firm Armour Hobby has quickly built a reputation for high quality Airfix kits. Sorry, Airfix aircraft kits. Here, Anders Isaacson examines the firm's recent 148 scale Sea Hurricane. 78 isn't listed actually. Is it 78? 84 Digital Days. Dean Large finds the Great Wall Hobbies 148 scale Ukrainian Su-27 UBM Flanker C. Provides all you need to build a digital camouflage airframe straight from the box. Let's have a look. Is this a typo? It says 78. No. No, I can't see that in the instructions, in the contents even. Right, latest releases from Airfix. Looks like they are releasing their B-17G Fortress, Flying Fortress Mark III. There's a Messerschmitt ME410A1 and Supermarine Spitfire Mark I, 148 scale. Model World Live 2026, save the date. So Model World Live will be held on April 25, 26, 2026 at the NEC in Birmingham. Transformers, Trumpeter's Terrific Transformers. If you're thinking about subjects that will spark a child's imagination, then robots are probably second only to dinosaurs. It's probably why the recent news that Trumpeter's new snap-together Transformers kits are now available in the UK, courtesy of Bachmann Europe. There you go. So you got Bumblebee, Blitzwing, Cliffjumper, RC, Soundwave and Ravage. Bumblebee B127, Bumblebee The Last Night, Starscream and Optimus Prime. Curtis H75A1A2 from Armour Hobby, 172 scale here. Luftwaffe aircrew figures from Modelu. 3D printing specialist Modeloo has issued new figure groupings of 1940-41 Luftwaffe pilots in 172 scale, 48 scale and 32 scales. 3D printed. Nice. Dinosaur fossils and a surprise from Cada. So dinosaurs fascinate most generations, and the chance to visit a museum displaying fossilised skeletons of them is universally popular. So these are obviously building block dinosaurs. The first is a Stegosaurus. Then there's a Triceratops. There's a Velociraptor. I think that's it, yeah. That's it. That's the 3 kits we got there. But it seems, it says here, with its 3 dinosaur fossil sets which comprise parts that glow in the dark, with the added bonus that if you buy them all you can create a 4th classic Tyrannosaurus Rex. There you go. New tool 135 RSO01 from MiniArt. And then display case. So, readers' models. There's a nice Vietnam style diorama here with a Bronco and a an OH6 KUs. We have 1/325 scale battle class destroyer. Says it's a vintage 1960s vintage Frog, 1/325 scale battle class destroyer, heavily reworking the basic kit parts and adding scratch building detail. He was provided numerous aftermarket items such as 3D resin printed 4.5-inch guns and directors from Shapeways, vents and floats from Micromaster, plus Atlantic Modelers photo etched brass railings. So, but it doesn't specify which ship it is. We have a nice little display case here of various cars. Austin Mini, Austin Healey, Sprite, Jaguar 420 and Bond Bug. And then this nice little Machine Krieger from Wave Corporation in 1/20th scale. Subscriptions. Right, so here we go. Rugged Roof. David Holmes builds an Edward 1/48 scale Japanese roof, or roofet, out of the box, representing an Aleutians-based aircraft during 1942. So this is from Edward. It's 1/48 scale. It's £47.90 from edward.com. Intermediate build, and the parts on the sprue look nice and crisp actually. The detailing, the wing detailing here with panel lines, etc., looks really nice. Oh, fantastic cockpit display. Instrument panel. And very subtle shading here, showing you the ballast that they used in the float to keep it front heavy and not tip back. And you get this detailed trolley for the plane, which you would use when you're transporting it around on land, included in the kit. Nicely done. Brill Cream Boys, what's this? Get to know the nuances of RAF aircrew and ground crew clothing and equipment with our useful quarterly guide in conjunction with Up and Atom History. This instalment explores RAF's tropical clothing, all photos, Matthew Roberts. So, Ordinary Airman, Middle East 1939, pith helmets. Ugh. Yeah, so, and to be quite honest, even up until sort of like the mid-80s, the British Armed Forces did slightly different coloured uniforms for tropical environments. But these, I must admit, if I was in an aircraft, I wouldn't be using shorts, for the simple reason being, if that plane catches fire, you've got nothing between your skin and the fire. And whilst perhaps a cotton pair of trousers might not protect you all that much, it's going to be better than, you know, having that fire direct on your skin. So I probably wouldn't be wearing shorts. But yeah, we've got Middle East officer, war throughout World War II. We've got pilot Middle East 39 to 40, pilot late 40, early 41, and then pilot Western Desert late 1941. Oh, we've got more. Nice. Pilot North Africa in 1943, pilot Far East 1944, officer Burma 1944, Ordinary Airman India 1944, pilot Burma 1945. We've got more of a jumpsuit look going on here. It's probably not, it's probably shirts and trousers, but we got a fully clothed pilot. And then Officer Far East 1945. Nice. I always find those things are really useful if you are a big figure painter. They're just useful reference points for when you come to paint uniforms. So here we have the advanced build for Airfix's 148 scale Albion AM463 refueler. It's £19.99 from airfix.com. And yeah, so the chassis looks really good and detailed. I'm sure that if you wanted to, you could add in extra detail. The cab, I mean, it's a very boxy cab, so there's not really a lot you can do with that. It looks like, according to the article, a new rear cab wall was cut from 20,000 or 0.5mm plastic card, using the kit's rear wall as template. Reference photos reveal that the booms have prominent bracing wires, which were created using lengths of 0.2mm carbon fibre rod. Okay. Does look good in this desert setting. While the kit wheels mostly capture the look of the real items, they lack a decent tread pattern. An earlier air recognition device was a white cross painted on top of the vehicle. And then some photos of the kit before being placed on the diorama. U-boat hunter. So let's talk about my HMS Bluebell build. It has stalled massively, for the simple reason being is that David J. Parkins, the person who was responsible for the Great Little Ships range, I believe has passed away. And at this moment in time, it doesn't look as if anybody has bought his production equipment in order, his files for laser cutting the photo etch and the moulds for producing the white metal parts. It doesn't look as if anybody has purchased those in order to start reproducing them. I've had difficulty. If anybody knows of a manufacturer that has purchased them and has started producing them, please let me know in the comments below. But my 172 scale build of HMS Bluebell from the 172 scale Matchbox Revel kit has stalled because of that. But these guys, Revel, produced a 144 scale HMCS Snowberry. And do you know what? For the scale, it looks really nice. I've never really looked at it because it's not a 144 scale is not a scale that I model in. But this looks really nice. I'm looking at the bridge here. The bridge interior configuration has as supplied in the kit. However, research indicated that the rear arrangement was quite different, so suitable modifications were made. So yeah, okay. So advanced build here. They're showing the masking off for putting on the 3-tone camouflage scheme. And this, they've actually done a very subdued, I think, camouflage pattern on this. But it is from Revel, it's 1/144 scale, it's £49.99 from Revel stockists. And yeah, I mean, not being funny, it's very, you know, the build looks to be very similar to the way the 172 scale kit goes together. For example, the funnel above the, you know, and the housing that it sits on is an assembly which is mirrored in the 172 scale kit. Aftermarket additions here, it said Wood Hunter. Right, so I'll have a look at these and see what is available in 172 scale. But like I said, initially my 172 scale build has stalled because David J. Parkins, who I was purchasing the kits as and when I could afford to get them, has passed away, unfortunately. Really sad. But I believe that happened either early this year or late last year. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember exactly when it happened. But these photo etch kits look really good. Extra detail. We've got the gun band stand. We've got the side braces for the bridge. We've got ribbing, by the look of it, for boats here. We've got ribbing for the Carly floats. Arms for the depth charge cranes. We've got railings for, we've got ladders and railings here, and obviously you've got railings all throughout this kit, showing bits and pieces. These look like they might be part of the depth charge frames, or it could be these here. Yeah, really nice, really nicely detailed bits here. So this, as a Flower class corvette, this is what's known as a ship which had the long forecastle. So these originally, where you come along the top here and then it drops down, so you can see this curve here. This was actually, on some of the earlier ships, was very far forward. And as I believe as new ships were built, this was changed to provide greater accommodation for the sailors, and it helped with the displacement of water that would come over the bow in extremely rough weather. Crew members of the 3D printed resin variety were sourced from a well-known internet auction site. 2 sets were available, including a 5-piece 4-pounder gun crew and 10-piece bridge party. Nice! resin items from Arsenal were used to replicate the weapons, and they look gorgeous. One of my biggest bugbears with regards to the 72 scale kit is the very toy-like renditions of the weapons. For a kit that is younger than the Airfix Schnellboot or E-boat, the E-boat manages to replicate like the 20mm cannon on that really well. But the Matchbox kit, I don't know whether the designer was just having a bad day or what. Okay, so yeah, so here's an example of one with a short forecastle. So it was much further forward. Excuse me a second. Excuse me. And you can see that instead of it being all the way back here, the cutaway is much farther forward. But nice in focus photographs for you. Now there is a book as well which is really good. I have done a video which is on my YouTube channel of that book. But here's the HMCS Snowbury photograph, and again there. So this is interesting. This is an early picture of HMCS Snowbury, and the mast is extremely far forward, whereas in the later picture it's closer to the funnel, in between the bridge and the funnel. Nice photographs for reference. Flying Palm Tree. Mark Attrell profiles Western and Wessex variants in RAF service. When did these go out of operation? 2002. There you go. 40 years service before retirement in 2002. So not bad. And again, for these airframes, I do like this black underbelly and the grey-green camouflage pattern. Well, this is an unusual, with the blue and bright yellow stripes here. November 7th, 1990, 28 AC Squadron celebrated its 75th anniversary with an 8 aircraft fly past over all British military establishments in Hong Kong, Kowloon and the New Territories. 2 of its Wessex HC-2s received special markings for the occasion, altering the standard white recognition stripes on the rear fuselage and nose with dark blue and yellow bands. Colour scheme here for Royal Aircraft Establishment, the red, white and blue. And then we're into the exclusive build for the Westland. So Wessex HC2 from Airfix, 172 scale, it's £49.99 from airfix.com. Don't forget, if you're a Airfix member, club member, you do get, I believe it's 10% discount. The floor has been attached to the port fuselage shaft, and the outer seam needed very little neatening. Cockpit parts are soon added to this ever-growing sub-assembly. The cabin seating attached to the floor with all homemade straps in place. So the cabin seating looks absolutely fantastic in that respect. Passenger seating, here we go. If you plan to pose the cabin door open, you'll need to paint the fold down seats. These needed a planned approach to ensure ease of painting. First, the seat upper straps were painted. Once dry, they were masked, and the seats themselves painted blue and the legs compass grey. So yeah, there you go, really good article. And they've chosen to build this with it in the stowed position. Nice. Out and About, East Midlands Model Show. This is a Revel 172 HU-16 Albatross posed the German Navy Air Sea Rescue Amphibian in a convincing seascape. We have a Centurion and an M113 here. Superb Vietnam diorama by Sheffield Model Group member Michael Rafferty. 135 scale Centurion Mark V from AFV Club and a Tamiya 113 as central focus of Bravo's 6 figures added visual interest. I'm probably going to turn around and say this is representative of Australian forces in Vietnam. I don't recall the Americans having access to Centurion, but I'm fairly certain that the Australians did. Nice Roman bust here, Roman Primus. And then we have a really nice diorama of a Churchill Avery. Doesn't give a scale, unfortunately. Built from the AFV Club. The engineering vehicle was built from the AFV Club, while the fascine is scratch built. Right, Maritime Maelstrom. Oh, do you know what? So, Armour Hobby Superlative 148 scale Sea Hurricane comes under the modelling spotlight courtesy of Anders Isaacson, who finishes it as an Operation Torch machine. So this would have been Operation Torch. That was wasn't that the American landings in North Africa? That's what I want to say. I could very well be wrong, but wasn't Operation Torch the American landings in North Africa? But I do like this dark sea grey and blue camouflage scheme, and these look like early US they look like early US markings, Air Force markings. Does it say? Anyway, 148 scale from Armour Hobby, Sea Hurricane Mark II C Champion. €55.68 from armourhobby.com. Let's see if there's mention of the kit markings. There is. No, I can't see anything. It says that this is an aircraft aboard HMS Dasher, 804 Naval Air Squadron based aboard HMS Dasher during Operation Torch in 1942. The kit looks really good. Again, the panel line markings look really crisp. The cockpit build looks good and detailed. A PE mottle mask was used to achieve a blotchy weathered look. Okay, so that's what this is here. Really interesting. Waltzing Matilda. So this is a Matilda 1 that wasn't listed in the contents. But it is a 135 scale resin kit from the Tank Museum here in Dorset. of a Matilda Mark 1 is £109.99. So it's a 3D printed kit, but it looks good. So this is an advanced build, probably mostly because of the medium. Rather than plastic styrene, resin can be a pain in the arse to work with. That looks really nice though, check it out. Construction of this kit is straightforward and relatively quick. Well, yeah, I mean, it looks like, from here, it looks like you've got the main hull, you've got the tracks and drive wheels as assemblies each, and then you've got a few different bits that you will add on, like turret, you've got a figure, and just some little ancillary bits that go onto the vehicle, like the exhaust, etc., and some stowage boxes. Digital Days intermediate build. Dean Large gets confused as an Englishman builds a Chinese kit of a Soviet aircraft in Ukrainian markings. So, SU-27 UBM Flanker C limited edition Great Wall Hobby 148 scale £79.99 from tigerhobbies.co.uk. And again, looking at the kit parts laid out here, like the cockpit tub looks really crisp and detailed. Nose wheel details and the parts painted. Cockpit tub painted. Once built, both cockpits looked busy. The instrument panels benefited from a decal to provide detail and dial and display. So they've blued out the metallics on the exhaust. So a combination of Tamiya Smoke and Clear Blue with Zen Airbrush freehand darkening the overall tones and added further heat staining effects to the engine nozzles there. But the digital camouflage looks really good. And there are two huge sheets of digital camouflage decals to be brought into play. Nicely done. Okay, so now we're into on the shelf. We have books. We have Defending Normandy, Volume 1B, German Infantry Divisions on the Cotentin, Part 2. That's 40 quid. We've got World War II vehicles, Through the Lens, 6. That's €28.95. KG-40, the Luftwaffe's multi-role strike wing, 1940 to 45. £55 for the price of that one. Curtis Design 75 Hawk, P36 and international derivatives. And that one is £39. Coin operations, so coin is short for counterinsurgency. Coin operations or counterinsurgency operations in Paraguay. Dirty Little Wars, 1956 to 1980. That's 20 quid. And P-51 Mustang, Flightcraft 19, P-51 Mustang is £17. Aircraft kits, we have a Block MB210 at War from Azure. It's 172 scale, it's €39, and it's from.com. That's this kit here. We have a P-51 D5 Mustang in 172 scale from Edward, £8.93. That is really good value for money. Edward has reissued its 172 scale filletless P51D Mustang as a Profi pack boxing with photo etched PE metal parts and paint masks. That's like for £8.93, that's really good value for money. We have the Airfix 172 scale Fokker Wolf FW190A8F8, £11.99 from airfix.com. We have an NJ22 Oreo by Litaki, 172 scale, it's €37 from litaki.com.ua. Edward again, this time a 148 scale BF109G2, £23.10 from edward.com. And then we have a Junkers F13 float plane, early production, mini art, 148 scale, £52.99. Bristol Bowfighter Mark 1F and 6F. And this is one 144 scale from Mark 1 models. It's €20.37 from eshopminiwing.cz. Kokusai Targo from Brengun 148 scale. It's €32.85 from brengun.cz, and a Nakajima KI433 Co. Hayabusa fighter and special attack units. And this is Special Hobby 172 scale. It's €18.90 from specialhobby.eu. Sixth outing for Special Hobbies 172 scale Key 43 provides markings for fighter and special attack kamikaze Sentai squadrons. It's essentially a repackaging of the 2010 boxing with new markings. We have Models Vits, new 172 scale Mirage G801, and this is in 172 scale. It's €41.40 from modelsviteshop.com. Vehicles and armour. We have a Mongoose Buggy, Ukrainian combat vehicle, basic version, in 135 scale from Masterbox, $27.99 from creativemodels.co.uk. Studebaker US6 U3 German service, ICM, 135 scale, £39.80. We have a KFZ 234/2 Puma in 135 scale from Mini Art, £54.99 from creativemodels.co.uk. We have a Fordson WOT2D van body from Planet Models, 172 scale, €21.20, specialhobby.eu. A GTK Boxer SG SANKFZ from Revel in 172 scale. The latest addition to Revel small scale GTK Boxer Productions is the ambulance version. There are only 7 styrene runners, including 2 frames for the clear parts, and while most of are common to previous offerings, there's an all-new rear module that portrays the wider and higher structure added to the medical variant. And then we have a Mini Art 172 scale Stug 3 Alfs G for £22 from creativemodels.co.uk. Civilian vehicles, we have a 132 scale Porsche 917/10 from Revel. That's £22.99 from Revel stockists. A Tempo A400 railway maintenance truck with personnel, 135 scale, £42.99 from creativemodels.co.uk. Stranger Things Jim Hopper's Chevy Blazer K5 in 125 scale from Revel, and that's £41.99 from Revel stockists. Some of the aftermarket parts, we have figures here. Oh, so Masterbox have been doing these 135 scale figures, and this one is that's sort of post-apocalyptic, and this one is Zombie Hunter Road to Freedom Last Chance. Contents include an axe and knife-wielding female who is also carrying a rucksack, rows from 3 wooden stakes, plus ammunition and equipment pouches around her waist and upper leg. If her dramatic leg arms raised poses enough, then it's matched by the male and female undead. Both are reaching for the survivor with clawed hands. Nice. Zombieland number 2, again master box, 135 scale. So both these kits are £14.50 each from creativemodels.co.uk. Brilliant. German elite gun crew here from Mini Art, 135 scale, £13.99. £13.99 from Creative Models. Black Cat's new tool, 135 scale, Mogador Volta Destroyer. So we are looking at a mixed media kit. It's 135 scale from Black Cat Models. Mogador Volta French Destroyer. It's €169.95 from blackcatmodels.eu. It looks like it is a mix of resin castings, photo etch parts, and 3D printed parts. Decals. McDonnell Douglas A4K Skyhawk Part 2 Royal New Zealand Air Force from Air Graphics, 172 scale, £25 from airgraphics.co.uk. Raphael EG 451 Ramstein Flag 2024 from Sci-Heart scale, 148 scale, it's €11 from sci-heartdecal.fr. DC6 Twin Otter, I think that's Royal Norwegian Air Force in 172 scale. So I think the only Twin Otter kit that I know of is the Revel one, or it's the old Matchbox Revel one. But these are £8.86 from Vingtor.net. Yeah, it says here, the only available 172 scale kit of the Twin Otter is the venerable Matchbox offering, also reissued by Revel. Spitfire Mark 1 Part 1 RAF Aces 1940. Ask distribution scale 132 scale, and that's €19.80 from artscale.eu. And P51D5 8th Air Force Edward 172 scale, £7.24 from edward.com. And there's some other aftermarket parts. Hand bending tool here. If you're into scratch building your own detail, Liang's handle bending tool is certainly worth considering. Available via UK online retailer Tyrrell Models. This is a nifty budget item that lets you fashion in-scale handles, ideal for upgrading styrene tanks and other military vehicles. We've got different scales of brass rod here, price from £1.99 to £3.65. And again, these you can get from tyrrellmodels.co.uk. They're made by D-Spy. 124 scale fuel and oil drums, 1930 50 set 2 from Mini Art, $15.99. Snow chains here for M20 for M8 M20 Dodge half track, 172 scale, €8.68 from hauler.cz. A10C wheels, 148 scale, from Edward, £5.44 from edward.com. French concrete road signs, 1930s, 40s, north and east from Mini Art, 135 scale, £15.50 from creativemodels.co.uk. And F5 Tiger 2 pitot tube and 20mm gun barrels, from Master Model, 148 scale, £7.99 from mastermodel.pl. And there you go, we get the last few pages of advertising. I will do the show guide photos as usual, and that was the magazine. I hope you enjoyed that. I really liked the photo focus for both the Wessex and the Flower Class Corvette. The Flower Class Corvette being particularly of interest to me. But yeah, fantastic. Hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.